Hello fabulous people, and welcome to this video where I'm going to be talking about this adrenaline rush of a game that I got to experience over the weekend. I spent most of my time playing Rumbleverse, which is an upcoming 40-player battle royale that features close-ranged brawling as its main approach to combat. The game just finished up a network test so that the team behind it could prepare for the game's official launch this fall. I got to playing, and very quickly, I realized just how special this game is. Epic Games, the same publisher that brought us Fortnite, has teamed up with Iron Galaxy Studios to bring us an experience that has honestly been my favorite in gaming this year. I've been so excited for new games that are coming out soon like Sonic Frontiers and Pokemon, but now that I know Rumbleverse is coming out in the fall, I'm not sure if I even want to play anything else, and that is crazy for me to say because Pokemon and Sonic have been around since I'm a kid and I never miss a release, but the gameplay in Rumbleverse is too addicting. I could not get enough of it. Now that the network test has come to a close, I am deeply upset because I cannot partake in a Rumble for quite some time. I don't know what the exact release date is, but we all just have to sit tight and wait to relive the magic that is this game. Now that I've hyped up the game for you, let me explain how everything in Rumbleverse works. To help paint the picture for you, I will be making just a few comparisons to Fortnite since Rumbleverse very apparently shares a style with that game, and because they come from the same publishers. This isn't a Rumbleverse versus Fortnite video. I'm not saying one is better than the other, that Rumbleverse is definitively a better game. We all have our personal preferences, but I think Fortnite is very important to talk about here when I'm introducing people to Rumbleverse. I played Fortnite for about 200 hours according to my Epic Games library, and admittedly, I really am not that good at it. I did learn some of the ins and outs of how to play, how to use certain weapons, and I had fun with it. I liked it. The main objectives are very straightforward and easy to get into. You get your loot, you get your weapons, and you try to finish the match as the last one standing. You can queue up for solo matches or team up with friends. This gameplay style is an amazing approach to player versus player gaming. What also sets Fortnite apart is that it was one of the first online multiplayer games to really push the movement for cross-platform gaming. If I'm on PC but my friend is on Xbox, it doesn't matter. And the fact that it's free to play makes Fortnite one of the most accessible and highly regarded games out there. I definitely hold it in high regard myself. I have so many fun memories playing Fortnite. However, I'm not the biggest fan of shooting games, so playing it for so long, it did wear on me after a while. Shooters aren't really going to be my first choice when I'm looking for a game to play. I don't dislike them, I don't have anything against them. Like I said, I played Fortnite for over 200 hours, but usually when I put 200 hours into a game, or more, ideally more if I like the game enough, it's usually going to be on stuff like an RPG, or a platform adventure, or a fighting game. So I was really excited to see that Epic had listed a battle royale with fist fighting as the main point of gameplay. Punching, kicking, grabbing, shielding, Sonic spring boosts, and wall climbing. Epic Games, if you do these cool crossover costumes like you've done with your other games, please, please, please give me a Knuckles costume. Look at the way they are climbing. This is so fun. Now let's get back to all the things I just talked about that make Fortnite so special. These are all in the core of Rumbleverse as well. It's free to play, cross-platform, pick up loot, find weapons in boxes, and finish the match as the last one standing. Rumbleverse is a close-ranged slugfest, so you're only going to have so many places to hide when you're roaming around the map. You won't have that many chances to stay hidden. You're going to have to get used to running from surprise attacks, and you will be running a lot. This game does not let you camp for extended periods, and that is probably one of the main reasons I love it so much. The Rumbles take place in Capital City, a vibrant area filled with various landmarks, highways, train tracks, and tall buildings everywhere you look. Run through the alleys to try and stay hidden, or take a leap across the tops of buildings to guarantee yourself some high-quality goods. What kind of goods can you find? First thing I'll talk about are protein powder capsules, which are color-coded into 3 categories. Yellow boosts your stamina bar, green boosts your HP bar, and red raises your attack power. You can eat up to 10 capsules worth of powder total, so how you build your stats will rely a lot on the luck of the loot. Alongside these powder capsules, you'll be finding fresh chicken in a lot of these crates. Chicken is the favorite food of Grappital City's residents, and it will help you regain any HP that you've lost in a scuffle. You can either find a drumstick, which gives you 300 HP, or a full chicken, which will grant you twice as much HP as the drumstick and then some, if you eat the whole thing. But let's say you only have room for half of the chicken. That's okay, you can save the rest of it for later. The loot crates will also contain weapons sometimes. You can find a baseball bat or a folding chair, which you can use to assist you in combat. If you aren't looking to get close to any opponents, or you just want to tack on some surprise damage while you're still gathering some farm, you can throw these weapons at enemies. Sometimes you might even get lucky with a surprise knockout if you manage to sneak up on other rumblers who are fighting each other. If you can't find any weapons in a crate, you can also take out mailboxes from the grounds, or trash cans, or traffic signs, and you can use those as a weapon. You can also get weapons from vending machines, which you might find at train stations or at the base of larger buildings. Weapons add a really nice layer of improvisation and surprise to the combat. Next, let me introduce you to special attack manuals. These color-coded pamphlets are what I would consider to be the parallel to collecting guns in Fortnite. When you collect and use a manual, you proceed to assign the attack to a button on your keyboard or controller. Then you use that button to unleash a special. These special attacks that you learn from the manuals will all vary in strength and utility. You can go for a big punch, a downward kick, or a lunging grapple, just to name a few. The more you explore, the more specials you will learn. It'll take a few games to figure out how to properly use these attacks and which ones you prefer, but once you learn to get comfortable with a few of these specials, the game gets way more exciting. Throughout the game, loot boxes are going to keep dropping into Grappital City. I don't think I've ever had a match where I struggled to find a crate. This creates a gameplay style that encourages constant movement and exploration. Sure, you can camp, you can hide in bushes if you want, but if you stay secluded for too long, you might miss out on some really good stuff. I'm still talking about loot. Wow, I haven't even mentioned these blue stars yet. Another piece of the gameplay puzzle that keeps you in constant movement as long as you make them a priority. Blue stars, just like loot crates, they'll be everywhere. These stars help you build up your superstar meter. Your superstar meter can be used in 3 ways, and how you use it is going to determine how long you stay alive. If you're looking to deal lots of damage, you can activate your superstar mode and unleash a powerful super attack if you manage to land a grab on the enemy. If you're not too keen on fighting because your health is too low and you don't have any chicken on you, you can just use that superstar activation as a means to restore your health and run away to safety. Usually, when you activate super mode, other players get scared and they try to run away from you, so this is a really reliable way to get your health back. If you don't think that you can utilize either of these superstar activations properly, you don't even have to use it. Instead, you can save it for when somebody depletes your HP bar. It's going to give you a second chance at life and revive your HP up to like 300 or 400. I don't remember the exact number, but it's awesome. There's so many different ways to approach the game, and how you use your superstar meter is going to depend entirely on how the other players around you are reacting to you, how you want to react to them. It is just a whole fiesta of fun mix-ups and different types of reactions. It's just awesome. I love the different ways that you can approach this game. What kept my blood pumping every time I launched into Rumbleverse is not only the layout of Grappital City, but how they bring you into the city. When you start a match, you are launched into just a very small portion of the city, never the entire map itself. The borders of the ring will always be placed in a different section of the map, which means you might not see the same place 2 games in a row. So if you have a favorite spot or a cozy camping ground, that's too bad. The ring is always going to be changing. Not only this, but the ring is also getting smaller every 90 seconds of the game. The borders of the ring will be closing in on you, sometimes forcing you to leave loot behind or causing you to run into other brawlers you might not be ready for. The ring in Rumbleverse is very similar to the storm circle in Fortnite. You want to stay in the circle on the map, or be ready to face the consequences that lie outside the circle. In Fortnite, when you're caught in the storm, you take damage for every second that you're in the storm, and you have to rush to the circle to avoid taking more damage. You can actually stay hidden in the storm for a little bit longer if you have enough medical supplies to survive it, if that's how you want to play, but that's a huge risk. In Rumbleverse, you don't take damage when you're outside of the ring, but you are on a timer that will disqualify you from the match entirely, regardless of your health, if you don't make it back to the ring in time. The scary thing about this timer mechanic is that your timer is being shown to every player that sees you. It's right above your head, bold in red. So if somebody spots that you have 2 seconds to make it back to the ring, and then you get hit with a silly boy swing, it's game over. Just like many other battle royales, map awareness is key in Rumbleverse. If you manage to be one of the last 10 players surviving, the size of the ring gets so small that it basically forces you to engage in combat. Depending on where the ring decides to shrink, you could end up fighting the final fight at the edge of the water or at the top of a building. Speaking of the edge of the water, if you get launched into the ocean, you actually lose all your health and you get knocked out instantly. It doesn't matter how much health you had. If you get wrung out, it's game over. This can happen at any point in the match, but it is most common to get knocked in the water during the final fight. If you're like me, and you don't like getting into fights early, you're gonna need to learn how to manage your stamina meter so you can outrun your opponents. As you run, climb, and fall from the top of buildings, your meter is going to get depleted. If you get hit while your stamina is at 0, you'll suffer a stamina break, which temporarily leaves your character dizzy and completely vulnerable. You can also get a stamina break if your shield gets broken, so make sure you aren't relying on shielding too heavily. Something you can do to keep your stamina bar high is drinking these blue energy drinks. Just like chicken, energy drinks come in 2 sizes, large and small. When you have an energy drink, your stamina bar won't deplete as quickly, and it will recharge at a faster rate. You'll see lightning bolts flashing around your character after drinking an energy drink, so you will know how long it's in effect. Energy drinks don't last for too long, but they are another useful tool for your survival. Whew, we have just talked about so many mechanics of this game. There are so many things to cover. It is blowing my mind, and I am not even done yet. I have to go over perks. Perks are kind of scary, but they're also awesome. They're a power-up for your character. The way that you obtain perks is by engaging in battles with other players at any point in the match. So, if you land near other players when you launch into the map, there are players that like to pick fights early. I am not this type of player, so it is very, very scary when I am just minding my own business, trying to get my loot, and there is somebody who is trying to get their perks up. It is so infuriating when I want to prioritize finding powders, finding farm, and somebody just comes behind me and hits me with a surprise. I have been knocked out very early, way too many times, but for all the times that I've been knocked out early, I have a few wins to show for it as well. So it does balance out. If you do get knocked out very early, just shake it off, move on to the next one. It will be okay. It's fine. When you get a perk, you can find out what it does by pressing start on the controller, looking at the menu, and the game is going to tell you exactly what your perk does. My personal favorite perk is the meditative perk. This grants you access to standstill healing. If you can find a place to safely stand still, you will regenerate HP for meditating, essentially. It is an awesome perk. So I do kind of get why people try to pick on people early and get those early fights. I get it. Imagine starting the game with an auto healer. That would be so cool. I'm just too nervous. I don't want to die right away, okay? When you're getting into fights with other players, the game will determine who gets to hit who based on the timing of the attacks and the priority of the attacks. The game has a priority chart that I still don't really fully understand, even after playing the game for 3 straight days, but I'll try to explain it the best I can. Attack beats grab, grab beats shield, and shield beats attack. Your basic rock, paper, scissors of a fighting game. Where things really start to get interesting is when you throw in weapon priority, special attack priority, and superstar priority. I was learning something new about what beats what and how you are supposed to react to opponents in every single game that I played. I can't wait for somebody who's way better than me at this game to make a video that fully explains the priority system, because even after no-lifing this game for the entirety of the network test, I still don't fully get how priority works, but once I do understand it, nobody is ever going to survive a Rumble versus me. This wouldn't be a free-to-play game if it didn't have optional purchases, and we can all be sure that stuff like battle passes and character customization will be coming in full force. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I would really like to see a Knuckles costume in the shop. Epic, I am begging you, please. We already have that Sonic costume in Fall Guys, and a bunch of crossover costumes in Fortnite, so I'm sure that Epic is going to deliver with the good stuff in Rumbleverse too. Even though it was just a 3-day network test, the character customization was pretty neat. We unlocked a few things as we got to play. You're given a random body build and outfit with your character that you start the game with, so you can just roll with that, and you don't ever have to play around with customization at all if you don't care, but I really liked having the option to run around in my underwear. Regardless of how you choose to make your character look, it's never going to impact the gameplay, and this is what I appreciate the most about this game, and games like it. There are no characters to select, just outfit and body customization. This means that everybody starts the match with the same attributes, same basic attack, same grab, same shield. The only thing that determines the differences between your characters is what special moves you find, what stats you choose to build, and how you implement those things into the game. I need to stress how amazing it is that there is no character select screen in a game where you get to fight people. I love this so much because I'm never going to have to worry about my opponent picking some unfavorable, infuriating matchup. No tier list, no annoying matchups, just your fists. How you react to all the various scenarios that are thrown at you is what will determine the outcome, and it feels so good. As somebody who spent years competing in Super Smash Bros., I'm very happy to have found Rumbleverse. I think we're going to see a decent amount of people from various fighting games or battle royales coming into this game's community and loving it. I think Rumbleverse is really going to have a large and active community. It's going to attract a lot of new players to the battle royale genre, and I cannot wait to see how more people respond to this game once it is finally out to all of us. Have I convinced you to try the game out when it releases? If so, be on the lookout for when it comes out this fall. I'm not exactly sure what day it's launching, but the Epic Games Store just says, coming soon. It can't come soon enough. If you are indeed interested in downloading Rumbleverse, it's going to be available on PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS5, and PS4. I really hope we get a Nintendo Switch release as well, because I have several friends I love to play games with that only have access to a Nintendo Switch. Epic, you've done it with so many games already, so get to it. Be sure to follow Rumbleverse on Twitter for updates on the game if you are interested. You can also find my Twitter and other links to the other stuff in the video description. I heard if you don't stay up to date with Rumbleverse news, that a woman named Big Booty Judy in a rubber ducky hat is going to grapple you by the neck. So, yeah. That's going to be it from me today. Thanks for watching. Have a good one and stay fabulous.